Hello everybody out there, welcome to the ToniSport Newsfeed. Today I'm back with another video for you guys, and I thought that it would be very interesting to talk a little bit about setup tools in general. I think this video will be mostly interesting for all the people who are relatively new in the hobby and who are trying to take it a little bit more serious from now on. Maybe if you are in between switching from an entry-level car to a competition racing car, especially in on-road, there are a lot of different tools available, and I think sometimes people can get a little bit lost in this jungle of different tweak tools, setup tools, measuring tools, and today I just want to let you know what's all about them. And I will show you a lot of different tools for making your car setup as good as possible. And therefore, I would just like to introduce some of the products to you. I will explain, if you need them for sure, or if they are maybe only a little bit of kind of a nice to have accessory. And I would say, let's get the video started. We will take a closer look on the different setup tools which are available on the market, especially for a 1/10 scale on-road racing. Let's go! Okay, I think it's the best to start with some basic tools which are here on my table right now. When you are switching from an entry-level RC car like this one here, this is my private Tamiya TT01, where you simply cannot adjust anything, so there you will not need any kind of setup tools. And please don't ask how I managed to destroy the car like this in the front. That's a different story. But with a car like this you don't need a lot of different setup tools. But when you then change to a more competition-oriented touring car, you will see a lot of different setup options. You can turn a turnbuckle at almost every corner of the car, and you can change so many different settings that you need kind of some basic tools, and we will look at these basic tools at first right now. Okay, so the most important basic setup tools, in my opinion, are here on the table right now. It's a simple aluminum ride height gauge which you need to set up the perfect ride height on your car. When you buy such a ride height gauge, just pay attention that it is a gauge with very fine steps. Perfect is 0.1 millimeter increments here on the scale, but if you buy one with 0.2 millimeter steps, that's also very fine. But in these steps, these are the most common steps to work with. When you change the ride height, you go 0.1, 0.2, 0.3 millimeter steps, which you are changing the ride height. So ride height gauge, super important to set up the perfect ride height of your car. Another very important set of tools is this set to set up and to measure the droop on your touring car. You need these two 10 millimeter blocks where you put the car on, and you need this kind of scale to set up the droop and to read out the droop values. That's super important. And the same as with the ride height gauge, make sure that you have a droop gauge which allows you to set up the droop in 0.2 millimeter steps. That's my recommendation for you guys. This is mostly available as a set, or as simply buying the blocks and the gauge separate from each other, but you will need that. These are available from a lot of different companies. I have the MR33 tools here on the table, and you will need these tools to set up the droop. The droop is one of the most important settings on every on-road car, especially the four-wheel drive touring cars. They are super sensible to droop changes, as the droop defines the amount of suspension travel when you are braking or accelerating, and when the car leans from one to the other side. The droop is super important, and you have to carry this kind of droop adjusting tools with you to the track. Last but not least, my third basic tool is kind of a tool set or a system, and this is the only thing which is a little bit more pricey when you are buying the basic tools. But when you want to take touring car racing a little bit more serious, you will not get away without buying a setup system, which you are seeing here on the table. This one here is from Hoodie, and it comes with this plastic plate to set up the toe on the front and the rear of the car. and you are doing this together with these 4 pieces which you are mounting onto your car at every axle, and there you can adjust the camber and the caster as well. So as you see here right now, when it's mounted on the car, you can set up all these different parameters, which is super important. Especially the camber and the toe is one of the most important things together with the Droop, and therefore you just need to carry a setup system with you. They are available from a lot of different manufacturers, for example SkyRC, Aeromax, Hoodie, and many others. And when you are owning a car which has 2 turnbuckles on the upper link, for example the Automatics car or the new ARC car, you need a gauge to adjust the caster, because you are adjusting this amount of caster over with the 2 turnbuckles on the top, and therefore you need kind of a caster measuring tool, which is available as well in different versions as well here from RC Maker. They offer a digital gauge to set up the caster, or you can use kind of these other different tools, and in combination with the setup system you can adjust the caster on your car very easily then. But in general, when you start racing on roads a little bit more serious, you need a setup system, and you definitely need the ride height gauge and the tools to set up the Droop. This is my basic recommendation for you. But now we move forward, and I would say we will check all the different options now to set up the tweak on your car. Also important, but that's the next step. Okay, now we are talking about setting up the tweak on the car. I will not explain how to do it in this video. I have done some videos about setting up or tweaking the car in the past. So if you like to get a little bit more knowledge about that, you can just check our video about how to work with the tweak station, for example, or how to work with the RC Maker weighted tweak wheels. That is maybe the best solution then for you. But today I just want to let you know that there are different versions or different options for you to tweak your car before the run. Tweaking the car should always be one of the last things you are doing before you put the car on the track. So whenever you have changed some stuff on your setup, just make sure that the tweak is right. And therefore you can use the most classic tools, which are aluminum tweak wheels. You just have to mount them on the car, and then you can tweak the car with the tweak wheels, and there you don't need anything else. Some guys, they really like to do it with the tweak wheels forever, because they have always done it like that, and others, they just get into the tweaking game with kind of a tweak station. This one here from Aeromax, for example, can also be a very good solution for you to tweak your car on a tweak station with a water scale, which is included in the tweak station. There you can also adjust the different loads on the wheels and on the axles, and a tweak station like that is maybe the tool which you see most of the time on the table of most of the drivers. There's another one available from MR33 which doesn't include a water scale, but you need your ride height gauge to set up the tweak on the car, which is something which, to be honest, I like a little bit more right now. As more as I have done it with this MR33 tweak station, the more I like it, because I'm not, I don't have to count on the precision of the water scale, which is included in most of the other tweak stations, for example. And it's a little bit more easy for me to set up the tweak with the MR33 station, because you can feel it a little bit better, because you work with some tools and values which you can feel with your own hands. It's a little bit more easy for me compared to the more classic style of tweak stations. Last but not least, there is another option from RC Maker, which is on the market since a couple of time. These are these carbon fiber tweak wheels, which are including brass weights, and you can use them also to tweak your car perfectly. As you can see, there are a lot of different options, and in the end, all of these things you can use to tweak your car perfectly when you are used to your own method or to your own way of tweaking the car, because there is not one good way and 5 bad ways to tweak the car. As long as your final result with your car will be good and your car is perfectly tweaked, then it is only your preference which tool you are choosing. RC Maker tweak wheels, Hoodie or Aeromax tweak station, MR33 tweak station, classic tweak wheels from SkyRC, for example. All these tools are doing the same job, and when the result is good, it doesn't matter how you are doing it. Maybe one important note, it is always important that you also own a setup board which is straight and flat, and you always have to check if your table and the setup board are flat before you start to tweak your car. And therefore I bought some kind of mini water scales. You can get them at a low price level, for example on Amazon or somewhere else. And yeah, always level out your table or your board before you are tweaking the car, because when the board is like that, it doesn't make any kind of sense to tweak the car on that kind of surface which is not straight. Therefore it's also available a special tool from Orca. This is the level board tool which you can mount onto your setup board to level it out. When you maybe have a table at a racetrack which is simply not flat, then you can level out your board with that before you start to tweak. So also a recommendation. So as you can see, there are a lot of different tools for tweaking the car, and all these things are doing the job. Last but not least, I want to talk a little bit about these corner weight scales from SkyRC. We also did a separate video about them, how to use them and how they are working. It's a great system and I really like it, but from my point of view, this is not kind of a setup tool, because I am not using these scales to tweak my car, or I don't use these scales to set up the weight balance. I only place the car on these corner weight scales from time to time when I rebuilt the car, or when I did some huge changes on the electronics or stuff like that. Then I use these scales to check the weight balance from front to rear and from left to right, to just find out where I am with the balance. But I don't use these scales to tweak the car. This is something which I have seen a lot of people are doing. They are tweaking the car only with these scales, and in my opinion these scales are not precise enough to do it all the time with these scales, because I experienced that the values the scales are showing, they are not always the same. Even when you are doing it 5 times directly after each other, you will always have a different amount, because you're not always placing the car on the same point of the scale, and everything is not precise enough to tweak the car with these scales. That's my personal opinion, but they are great to check your weight balance and to see if you have to add more weight to the front, to the rear, to the left, to the right. This is a tool which is definitely nice to have, but it's not necessary to carry it with you to the track to get your car dialed in as good as possible. That's yeah, the last thing I want to point out. So as you can see, many options, and you just have to pick the right option for yourself. Choose a product which you like the most concerning the handling or the look or the size or the weight. I mean, people have different approaches when they are selecting their products, and I think especially in this section of setup tools, the market is so huge that you can buy whatever you like. So that's our video for today, and I hope that you liked watching it as much as I enjoyed making it for you guys. And there are a lot of different setup tools on the market, as you can easily see. The selection is way more bigger, but I hope that I just was able to bring a little bit more light into darkness for you, that you now know what you have to carry with you to the racetrack, and what is maybe a cool accessory, but what maybe does not make sense to buy all these things together. Yeah, and then that's the video for today. Thank you for watching. If you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel until now, just do it. Make sure that the bell is on and you will not miss any of our ToniSport Newsfeed videos in the future. Until then, it's my pleasure to thank you once again for supporting our channel and for supporting us with your great feedback. If there's something you would like to do me a video about, just let us know. And until then, enjoy RC racing with your friends on the track, and we see us in the next video. Always keep in mind, race with ToniSport. You will never race alone. Goodbye.